Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. How many dreams have you put on the back burner? How many times have you told yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, only to realize tomorrow never comes? If you've ever felt the sting of watching opportunities slip through your fingers, you're in the right place today. Because here's the truth, procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's a thief. It steals your time, your confidence, and most painfully, your potential. But here's the good news, you can beat it. You can reclaim your time and unlock the incredible life waiting on the other side of action. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how. I'll share with you why we procrastinate, what it costs us, and most importantly, the tools to defeat it starting right now. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine waking up every day feeling unstoppable. Imagine knowing without a doubt that you're moving closer to your goals, not someday, but today. That's what's possible when you break free from procrastination. So stick with me. Because by the end of this speech, not only will you have the strategies to conquer procrastination, but you'll also have the confidence to take that very first step. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. How many dreams have you put on the back burner? How many times have you told yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, only to realize tomorrow never comes? If you've ever felt the sting of watching opportunities slip through your fingers, you're in the right place today. Because here's the truth, procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a thief. It steals your time, your confidence, and most painfully, your potential. But here's the good news, you can beat it. You can reclaim your time and unlock the incredible life waiting on the other side of action. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how. I'll share with you why we procrastinate, what it costs us, and most importantly, the tools to defeat it starting right now. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine waking up every day feeling unstoppable. Imagine knowing without a doubt that you're moving closer to your goals, not someday, but today. That's what's possible when you break free from procrastination. So stick with me. Because by the end of this speech, not only will you have the strategies to conquer procrastination, but you'll also have the confidence to take that very first step. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Now, think about this. How often do we convince ourselves that we'll start tomorrow? We tell ourselves that the timing isn't right, that we need more information, or that we just don't feel ready. Sound familiar? Here's the catch. Tomorrow is a moving target, and it never truly arrives. The days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before we know it, years have slipped by. What's left is regret, the haunting thought of what could have been. Let's be honest, it's not just about laziness or a lack of discipline. It's deeper than that. Procrastination comes from fear of failure, fear of imperfection, and even fear of success. It's that voice in our head whispering, what if you're not good enough? Or what if you mess this up? And so we avoid, delay, and distract ourselves with things that feel urgent but aren't truly important. It's human. But it's also a choice we can change. Here's a truth you need to embrace. The perfect time will never come. The stars won't magically align, and there won't be a day where everything feels effortless. Waiting for perfection is a luxury you can't afford if you're serious about achieving your dreams. The only time you have is now, and if you're willing to commit to just one small action today, you'll discover that momentum is your best friend. Action creates clarity. Action builds confidence. Action turns dreams into reality. So what's that dream or goal you've been postponing? Picture it in vivid detail. Now ask yourself, if you don't start today, what will it cost you? Not just in missed opportunities, but in self-belief in the legacy you're building. And here's the twist: when you take that first step, no matter how small, you send a message to yourself that you're capable, that you're worthy, and that your time matters. That's a powerful shift. Procrastination may have stolen enough from you already, but it doesn't have to win. In this moment, you have the power to take control. So stay with me, because what we're going to uncover today might just change everything. Procrastination is more than just a habit. It's a silent force that chips away at your future, one delayed action at a time. It doesn't knock loudly or announce its presence. It sneaks in, disguising itself as harmless distractions or the false comfort of later. But make no mistake, the cost of procrastination is immense, and it's a price we pay not just with our time, but with our dreams, our self-esteem, and even our relationships. Think about this. Every time we delay taking action on something important, we're not just postponing a task, we're postponing progress. Opportunities don't wait for us to be ready. Imagine the job you didn't apply for because you thought you needed one more week to perfect your resume. Imagine the business idea that stayed in your head instead of reaching the market. Imagine the connections you didn't make because you convinced yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. The cost of delay isn't just what we lose in the moment, it's what we lose forever. Procrastination thrives in the shadows of missed potential. It's not just the undone tasks piling up, it's the ripple effect those delays create. Each postponed action leads to more stress, more self-doubt, and a growing gap between where you are and where you want to be. And here's the hard truth: the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to take that first step. It's as if the weight of inaction grows heavier with each passing day. But it's not just about tangible losses like missed deadlines or opportunities. Procrastination takes a toll on your confidence. Every time you put something off, you're sending yourself a subconscious message, I can't handle this, or worse, I'm not good enough. And over time, those messages compound, creating a mindset that feels trapped, hesitant, and stuck. The cost is more than just external, it's deeply internal. What about the relationships in your life? Procrastination can creep into those too. Whether it's putting off that important conversation with a loved one, delaying an apology, or neglecting to show up fully for the people who matter most, the cost is measured in trust, connection, and moments you can't get back. When we procrastinate, we're not just delaying tasks, we're delaying life. And let's talk about the ultimate cost your dreams. What are the things you've always wanted to do? The book you wanted to write, the passion project you wanted to start, the skills you wanted to learn. Procrastination is the silent killer of those dreams. It convinces you there's more time when, in reality, time is the one thing we can't create more of. The cost of delay is a life half lived, a legacy unfulfilled. The good news? It doesn't have to be this way. Recognizing the cost of procrastination is the first step to reclaiming your time and your power. The moment you decide to stop letting it control you, you begin to tip the scales back in your favor. And once you see what's truly at stake, you'll realize there's no better time to act than now. Understanding why we procrastinate is the key to unlocking the power to overcome it. It's easy to label procrastination as simple laziness or lack of willpower, but that's not the full story. Procrastination is deeply rooted in our psychology, and once we understand its underlying causes, we can begin to break free from its grip. At its core, procrastination is often driven by fear of failure, fear of success, or fear of judgment. When faced with a task, especially one that holds significance for our future, our minds naturally start to imagine all the potential risks. What if we don't do it well enough? What if we're not as capable as we hope? What if we put in all the effort and it still doesn't work out? These thoughts trigger a sense of discomfort, and rather than face that discomfort, we avoid it altogether. It's easier to avoid than to confront the vulnerability that comes with putting yourself out there. But avoidance, while momentarily relieving, only leads to longer-term regret and stress. The fear of failure is a powerful motivator. When you're working on something important, there's a lot on the line. If it doesn't go the way you planned, you risk looking incompetent or unworthy. Our egos don't want to experience that, so we delay the inevitable. But here's the kicker: not acting is also a form of failure. By procrastinating, we fail to take control, and we fail to learn from the process. The truth is, there is no success without failure, and failure can only teach us if we embrace it, not avoid it. But when we procrastinate, we're robbing ourselves of the opportunity to grow, to refine our ideas, and to get better. Fear of success is another hidden reason many of us procrastinate. It might seem counterintuitive, but sometimes people avoid success because of the changes it brings. Success means more responsibility, more expectations, and in some cases, more attention. Deep down, Some of us are afraid of stepping into a bigger role or taking on the weight of higher expectations. It's easier to stay in our comfort zones where things feel predictable, even if it means leaving our dreams unfulfilled. Another factor that contributes to procrastination is perfectionism. Perfectionists often delay tasks because they want everything to be flawless before they even start. They tell themselves, I'll begin when I'm fully ready, or it has to be perfect, or it's not worth doing. But perfectionism is a trap. It creates an illusion that there's always a perfect moment or the perfect way to do something, and this mindset prevents action altogether. The reality is, no one is perfect, and nothing ever goes exactly as planned. The key is to take imperfect action, because action, even if it's not flawless, moves you forward. Lastly, procrastination is rooted in poor emotional management. The more we focus on how a task makes us feel, whether it's overwhelmed, stressed, or anxious, the more likely we are to avoid it. Our brains are wired to avoid discomfort, and tasks that feel difficult, uncertain, or tedious are hard to engage with. But here's the thing, the discomfort doesn't go away by avoiding the task. In fact, it only grows. The trick is to stop focusing on the emotion and start focusing on the next step. By breaking down big tasks into small, manageable pieces, you make the process less intimidating. Every small win builds confidence and reduces the emotional resistance to taking the next step. Understanding the root causes of procrastination, fear, perfectionism, emotional avoidance, empowers you to dismantle these barriers. Once you recognize them, you can begin to take control, shift your mindset, and transform those procrastination triggers into motivation. This understanding doesn't just make you more productive, it gives you the tools to shift your internal narrative and change the way you approach challenges. Procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. All it takes is awareness, action, and the courage to face what lies ahead, no matter how imperfect or uncertain it may seem. When it comes to beating procrastination, one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is clarity. It might sound simple, but clarity in your goals and intentions is often the key to overcoming hesitation and inaction. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, procrastination loses much of its grip on you. So why does clarity matter so much? Because without it, you are simply drifting, reacting to whatever comes your way instead of intentionally moving towards something meaningful. In the absence of a clear vision, it's easy to become distracted by the constant barrage of tasks and information that fill our days. You might find yourself moving from one thing to the next, but never truly making progress on what matters most to you. It's like trying to sail a boat without knowing where the shore is. You're just spinning in circles. Having clarity in your goals, however, serves as a guiding star. It gives you a clear destination, and most importantly, it makes the path forward obvious. When you know exactly what you're working toward, every action you take is infused with purpose, and suddenly procrastination becomes unnecessary. The decision to act becomes easier because it's aligned with something that matters deeply to you. The desire to reach that goal outweighs the resistance to starting. In essence, clarity gives you motivation, not just for the tasks you're working on, but for the process itself. Clarity also helps you break down large, overwhelming tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. One of the main reasons people procrastinate is because a goal or task feels too big, too daunting, or too complex. When something seems overwhelming, the natural instinct is to avoid it. But when you have clarity about what needs to be done, you can break the task into smaller chunks, each with a clear, manageable goal. This makes the task less intimidating and much easier to start. Each step is a small win that builds momentum and confidence. But it's not just about clarity of action, it's also about clarity of intention. Why do you want to accomplish this goal? What impact will it have on your life? The more you connect your actions to a deeper sense of purpose, the more likely you are to follow through. People procrastinate not because they are lazy, but because they've lost touch with the why behind what they're doing. If the reason you're working towards something is rooted in personal values or a deeper vision for your life, you'll feel more driven to take action. In addition to this, clarity helps you make decisions quickly and effectively. Procrastination often arises when we feel uncertain or indecisive about a course of action. When we're not sure what the right move is, we hesitate. But when you have a clear understanding of what you want, decision-making becomes more streamlined. You'll have the confidence to move forward because the decision aligns with your vision. Finally, having clarity prevents distraction. In today's world, there are endless things competing for our attention, from emails and notifications to social media and the constant pull of multitasking. But when you're crystal clear about what matters most, you can filter out the noise, you know what deserves your focus and energy, and what can be put aside until later. This focus is a powerful antidote to procrastination, as it helps you stay aligned with your priorities rather than getting sidetracked by irrelevant distractions. Ultimately, clarity is a game changer in the fight against procrastination. It transforms vague, overwhelming goals into actionable steps, connects you to your deeper purpose, and gives you the tools to filter out distractions. When you have clarity, procrastination simply doesn't have the same hold on you. You become empowered to act, knowing that each step you take is moving you closer to something that truly matters. Overcoming procrastination isn't just about understanding it or having clarity, it's about taking consistent, actionable steps toward your goals, even when you don't feel like it. Action is the antidote to procrastination. And the good news is that you don't have to wait for motivation to strike to start moving forward. In fact, often the best way to generate motivation is by simply taking action, no matter how small. One of the biggest roadblocks to action is the overwhelming feeling that a task is too big or too complicated. The natural reaction is to freeze, to think you need to have everything figured out before you begin. But the truth is, waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan can keep you stuck forever. The secret is to take imperfect action. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the answers right now or if you're not sure what the outcome will be. The key is to just start. Starting is what builds momentum. Starting is what makes the path clearer. Starting is what turns ideas into reality. The act of taking that first step, even if it's a small one, breaks the cycle of indecision and resistance. It creates a ripple effect. Once you start moving, it becomes easier to keep moving. The fear, the hesitation, and the self-doubt that come with procrastination start to fade away because the energy from the action you've taken propels you forward. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and every small step you take is a victory that gets you closer to your goal. But action isn't just about taking random steps, it's about creating a system or structure that works for you. Successful people don't rely on motivation alone, they build habits and routines that make action automatic. When you make progress a part of your daily life, it becomes easier to stay on track. For example, setting aside specific times in your day to work on your goals or breaking down larger tasks into smaller, manageable pieces helps create a routine that eliminates the need for willpower. By creating a system that supports consistent action, you remove the mental barriers that procrastination thrives on. This is why it's important to shift your mindset from waiting for the perfect moment to simply committing to take action. You don't need to feel ready to take the first step, you just need to decide to do it. The confidence you're waiting for will come with experience, not from waiting for the right conditions. Every action you take, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in yourself and your ability to get things done. Another key to turning action into success is to track your progress. Celebrate the small wins. Every time you complete a task, no matter how minor it seems, acknowledge it. This reinforces the idea that action leads to progress, and it boosts your motivation to continue. Procrastination thrives when you feel stuck and unable to move forward. But when you actively track your progress and see that you're moving in the right direction, it fuels your momentum. Finally, remember that consistency is far more powerful than perfection. You don't need to take massive leaps all at once. It's the small, consistent actions over time that compound and create extraordinary results. Just keep moving, even if it's just one small step at a time. The act of continually showing up for yourself is what makes the difference between staying stuck in procrastination and achieving your goals. Taking action doesn't require perfection, it requires courage, consistency, and the willingness to start. The more you make action a non-negotiable part of your life, the less procrastination will have a chance to take hold. Every small step counts, and over time, those steps add up to something much bigger than you could have ever imagined. Breaking free from procrastination is not just about knowing what to do or having a clear path forward. It's about finding the motivation to stay committed and turning that motivation into lasting habits. The final key to defeating procrastination is simple taking action immediately and consistently every single day. It's easy to get caught up in overthinking, planning, or waiting for the right moment, but in reality, the most powerful way to overcome procrastination is to make it a habit to act without hesitation. The first thing to realize is that procrastination thrives on excuses. It feeds on our doubts, fears, and the countless reasons we tell ourselves for why now isn't the right time. But here's the truth: the right time is now. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. And this isn't about having everything figured out or waiting for motivation to strike. It's about deciding that no matter what, you're going to take one small step today. That step doesn't need to be perfect or huge. It just needs to be a step in the right direction. One of the best ways to combat procrastination is by creating daily rituals. A ritual is something you do consistently, whether you feel like it or not. This consistency breeds trust in yourself and removes the mental barriers that procrastination sets up. It turns action into a habit, so you don't have to rely on motivation or willpower to get started. It's about creating a mindset that says, this is non-negotiable, I will do this today. Over time, these small actions compound into massive progress. For example, if you've been procrastinating on a big project, break it down into smaller, manageable tasks and commit to completing just one thing each day. It could be writing 500 words, brainstorming ideas for an hour, or making a phone call that moves you closer to your goal. The key isn't to finish everything in one go, but to make progress each day, no matter how small. That daily habit keeps you moving forward and ensures that procrastination can't take hold. Another powerful way to stay consistent is by setting daily goals that are specific and measurable. Instead of vague goals like work on the project, set clear, actionable targets like write 500 words or complete a draft by the end of the day. When your goals are clear and measurable, they're easier to focus on and easier to achieve. This makes the process of taking action much less overwhelming and gives you a sense of accomplishment with each task completed. You also need to set yourself up for success by creating an environment that promotes action rather than inaction. This means removing distractions and organizing your space so that it's conducive to getting things done. If you're prone to procrastination, eliminate the things that trigger your distractions, whether it's social media, clutter, or noise, and create a space where you can focus solely on the task at hand. When your environment supports your goals, it becomes much easier to take consistent action. But what happens when things don't go according to plan? What happens when you miss a day or face a setback? Instead of letting that derail your progress, treat it as part of the process. Everyone faces obstacles, but it's how you respond to them that matters. If you slip up, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. Don't let one misstep turn into a full-blown excuse to quit. The key is to keep coming back every day with the same commitment to action. The power of consistency is often underestimated, but it's the secret weapon in beating procrastination. It's not about waiting for inspiration or motivation to strike. It's about committing to small, consistent actions that eventually lead to big results. Procrastination can no longer thrive in the face of daily commitment. By making action your habit, you'll find that achieving your goals is no longer a distant dream, it's a reality within your reach.